y'all doing today? I am so glad you came back for another video. Today I am going to do a little bit something different. I'm going to review just a concealer. I know my thing is like kind of foundations. I do a lot of foundation reviews. I love foundations. I love any kind of complexion based products, which is exactly what a concealer is. And I've mentioned this concealer I'm going to talk about a couple times in haul videos. And some people have asked for a separate review video, so I thought I'm going to try it. I have never done a concealer review that wasn't a first impression. So I'm gonna, like the demo, I kind of flew by the seat of my pants. Like, I don't know, I didn't really know what I was doing. But today I'm going to be talking about the Lancome Effort Cernase Waterproof, Long-Lasting Under Eye Concealer. Comes in nice tube packaging like this. And it has a very skinny tip, which makes for easy, not application. I would not suggest going straight under your eye with it, but easy control into how much product you use. Now, this retails for $31. I bought mine at Ulta, but it's also available at Sephora, and I'm sure it's available wherever Lancome products are sold, such as Lancome counters in Belk, Macy's, stuff like that. This is 14 grams of product. Now, this is my concealer drawer. I'm going to try to... It's just one of my acrylic drawers that holds all of my concealers. So I'm going to tell you some of the ones that you might be familiar with. I'm going to tell you how much product is in those so that you can compare. Well, this doesn't say grams. So let's start over. This has 0.52 ounces, okay? The Naked Skin Concealer has 0.16 ounces. So this is almost 5 times the amount as you get in the Naked Skin Concealer, if I'm doing my math correctly. The Studio Skin Concealer from Smashbox has 0.08 fluid ounces. 0.52, 0.08. I didn't really realize this until I did this video. This is crazy how much more product you get. The Maybelline Better Skin 0.25, so it's about half of what this is. Makeup Forever 0.25, again about half. MAC Pro Longwear, which I have always considered to be a very nice hefty amount of product, is still only 0.3 ounces versus 0.52. And I'm not going to go through my whole drawer. Let's see, this is another creamy type concealer, and this is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Elimination, 0.2 ounces. Again, about half of the product. That right there should diminish any, like, oh my goodness, $31 for this product, because you are getting a ton. And you'll see in the demo that you need like little to none to cover both under eyes. So I got the color 210 Light Buff, which I actually don't even see as an option on the Sephora site, but it is in stock and an option at Ulta. So again, it's 210 Light Buff, and I'm going to swatch a few of the concealers I've already talked about to give you a comparison in colors if you might possibly have one of these other colors to compare it to. That's a lot of comparing words. Hold on just a second. Okay, hopefully this is going to come off. This one right here is the Lancome in the 210 Light Buff. This one right here is Urban Decay Naked Skin in light neutral. This one right here is the Bye Bye Under Eye Illumination in medium. The fourth one over right here is Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Waterproof Concealer in light. And then this one at the very end is the MAC Pro Longwear in NW25. Now keep in mind, all of these concealers work for me at this time. So even if you think NW25, oh my goodness, the Light Buff still works, even though that's a lot darker. It just depends on how brightening you want your under eye to be. And sometimes I want it to look like my skin tone, and that's when I'll use one of my darker concealers. It is not a liquid formula. I will show you in the demo, and it's not a cream. This, if you have this or if you felt this, this is probably 2 to 3 times as thick as this is, but this is thicker than this, but just by a little bit. It's kind of hard to... it's kind of hard to describe, so you'll have to wait and see it in the demo. I think I've talked about size, price, shade comparisons. I think that's it. I don't know. Like I said, this is my first rodeo with this concealer review. So let's just jump on into the demo and then I tell you a little bit of my final thoughts at the end. Okay, so I've never really done like a concealer review that wasn't a first impression. So I don't even really know how this is going to go, but I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to zoom you in and show you like the severity of the darkness of my under eyes. Hopefully this is coming across. Now keep in mind the camera is very forgiving and usually lightens most things up, but all I have on right now is foundation. So you can see I have very distinct tear duct lines or tear lines, and it's very, very dark from here to about here in my eye. See, it stops about right there. Very dark. Now, I think some of it's genetic. I think some of it's allergies. And maybe that's all it is for me, because I do make sure that I get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. So I don't think it's like lack of sleep. I really just think it's genetics. This is what I'm going to do to start out with. I am going to use a color corrector because, and I know people are going to say, how do I really know if that concealer works if you're going to use a color corrector? If you have dark under eye circles like me, no concealer, this is my opinion, okay? My opinion. I feel like I have to preface everything by saying that because some people can be very sensitive about things like this. But in my opinion, if you have dark circles that are the severity of mine, no concealer is going to cover it completely. Unless you go in with like a Kryolan TV paint stick or something, which is like a professional brand and pretty much stage makeup. But like an over-the-counter concealer, no matter how full coverage it is still going to make darkness like this look ashy if I don't correct it first. My MAC Pro Longwear does not cover it. Nothing covers it up completely. So I'm going to correct first with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Corrector in Peach. Now I will say that this corrector is probably the least corrective out of my under eye correctors. And that's because I don't feel like I need the strongness of like the Giorgio Armani or anything like that because of how high coverage this concealer is. So I just put that on and then tap it out with my finger. And I'm just going to do one eye and then I'll do a close-up of the difference. So even that didn't correct it completely, but that's okay because I feel like the concealer makes up for that. Now, this is a very creamy concealer. It is not a liquid, but it is also not like the IT Cosmetics, which I may or may not have shown you in the intro. It's kind of a mixture between that. But I'm going to show you that right there is probably more than I will need. And I don't know if you can tell, honestly, how little of an amount that is. But that is going to cover both eyes. So what I do is I take that much on my finger, so I still have that much left on my hand, and I dot it under my eye, and you can spread it like it has some playtime before it dries. So I'm manipulating that tiny amount to cover this much. So I've laid it down with my finger, and you could honestly finish with your finger. Like the warmth of it is good for cream foundations like that, or cream concealers like this. But I just go in and kind of tap out the excess with my Beauty Blender. I hope you can tell the difference. This is my non-corrected eye. There's still puffiness. Okay, that is the allergies. There's still puffiness, but it's so much brighter. And once I set it, it's going to be even more bright than this eye. You can build this up. I choose not to because I just don't feel like I need it. I just hope, like, if you can see from this direction, and then the darkness from this direction. I hope to goodness it's coming off on camera. Do my other eye real quick and then show you how much I have left on my hand. Okay, so I still have this much left on my hand, which is probably about half of what I started out with. So this is what I do. You can see when I look down like this, you can still see that shadow. That is because of the bags. So what I do with the remainder of this concealer is I take a little bit and I put it directly onto where that main shadow is casting. And then I buff it out a little bit more. So even that, it's not gone away. It's not going to completely go away. But even that is a big difference from that. For me. I hope it's coming across on camera. So just put it right, it's right there in that tear line. And then just lightly press it out. So that already has completely, in my opinion, taken away the darkness under my eye. Okay, so the rest of my makeup is on. I used the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder to set this. However, I have found that the Charlotte Tilbury powder that I use to set my concealer a lot, it works great too. I will say that one of the differences between this concealer and all of my other concealers is that I always, before I set, go back in and like buff out any wrinkles that may have, you know, accumulated since I've actually applied my concealer. Because before I set, I do like my cream bronzers, cream highlights, anything like that. When I go in to buff that out to set it, I don't have to buff it out. Like, it's the only concealer out of my entire concealer collection that does not crease in between application and setting, which to me is huge. Like, it's just huge. I think it's a precursor to how it's not going to crease and settle throughout the entire day. All right, now I know some of you are going to probably comment and be like, girl, you still have some dark under eyes. Yeah, I probably do to a lot of people because I have really dark circles, but I do not find this personally to be very dark. I think this is, let me zoom you out a little bit more. I was a little up close and personal there. Do I think this is something that's worth every bit of the $31 that it retails for? Yes. Not only because of everything. It doesn't settle. It doesn't crease. It's very high coverage. You need very little product. It will last you forever. Like, I can't tell because it's a black container, but I've used this so much and it doesn't feel any different. Like, it doesn't feel lighter. I don't know. Feel like it's going to last me a very long time. Even though I don't see any kind of like expiration thing of how many months to use it, but I go by smell. I don't necessarily go by that little thing. If it starts to smell off, then we're going to have an issue. But now, speaking to the claims of waterproof, I've not put this concealer on and then gone like swimming. So I can't say for sure if it's like the waterproof that it claims. However, I do know that there are some concealers that I cannot wear when I know I'm going to work out, especially if it's going to be a little bit more of like an intense workout, because I will either sweat like above my eye and it drips, or I'll sweat right under my eye right here and it will take off the concealer. I know like the Makeup Forever HD is infamous for that. Like on me anyways, I just can't wear it if I know I'm going to be working out. I've never had that issue with this concealer, so it's at least that waterproof. I do know that I would feel 150% comfortable with using this on my brides. In fact, I'm thinking about getting some of this to use on my brides because I like it so much, as far as being waterproof, tear-proof, stuff like that. And the other claim on the bottle is long wearing. It is for sure long wearing. It does not fade on me throughout the day. I feel like it does look exactly the same when I wash my face at night as it did when I applied it that morning, whether it be 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours that it's been on. It is super long wearing, one of the most long wearing concealers that I own. So yeah, I mean, hopefully this helped. I don't know. Let me know if you're interested in any more concealer reviews. And if so, what concealers you'd like me to review for you. But I wanted to start out any kind of future series reviews of concealers with a good one. And this is a really good one. So I'll link where you can get it down below. I would definitely try it out. I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you have a very blessed day.